I have a confession. You're looking at a rehabilitated ex-convict. Hey, now might be a good time for you to hold on to your purse. I've heard the prison door slam shut. I've walked the long concrete halls. I've felt the shackles cutting into my wrist. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. I lived in a cell for 3 decades before realizing I held the key. I held the key to a prison of my own creation. All I had to do was turn the key. Every child wants their daddy. Some will only get their father. What did I have? A father who never even gave me a chance to be his son. His decision destroyed my self-esteem, and I blame myself. As a young teenager, I thought drinking alcohol would help me escape from my prison, but it didn't. On several occasions, in search of my freedom, I went to see my father. Can you believe he literally turned his back and walked away from me? I hated him so much after that. Without realizing it, I allowed my father's decision to throw me into my personal prison. Louis, are you in your personal prison? As a young teenager, I remember my grandfather telling me, son, don't ever let anyone tell you what you cannot do. You control your life. But I was a teenager. And teens always listen to the adults, right? Unfortunately, 3 months later, he passed away. Now, for some odd reason, people thought I should play basketball. As the only freshman playing for Coach Strawler, he would often hug me and tell me how proud he was of me. In those 4 years, he became my role model, my hero, the father I'd always wanted. It was my senior year. I asked Coach for his help getting into college. Son, you know you'll never go to any college and graduate. I couldn't breathe. It was like somebody ripped my heart right out of my chest. How could he say this to me? It was then my grandfather's words came back to me. Son, don't ever let anyone tell you what you cannot do. You control your life. But as convicts often do, I fell back into my old habits. And I will spend 25 more years locked up. April, are you still locked up? In the summer of 2009, in yet another long conversation about my father, my uncle said, Maurice, when are you going to stop allowing others to control your life? You're only hurting yourself. They aren't thinking about you, but it's destroying your life. But you don't understand. Whatever. Wait a minute. He's right. I created the prison. For 3 long decades, I held the key. Finally, I unlocked the prison door, kicked it open, and I stepped out into my life. I felt like a new man. I even treated myself to some contacts and some braces. As a teacher of 15 years with 2 college degrees, I am the father figure to many of my students. From my painful experiences, I teach my students how to avoid their personal prison. For that very reason, I created Walker Sports Group to help students like Chris, who was one of my former basketball players. We inspired Chris to obtain his college degree, even when his coach told him he'd never go to college and graduate. Chris, now a husband and a dad, created his own organization, which inspires children to pursue their dreams. I broke free of my shackles, and Chris broke free of his. Fellow Toastmasters, fellow convicts, warden, now it's your turn to break free. Unlock your prison doors and step outside of those concrete walls. You must turn the key. Only you can leave your orange jumpsuit behind, balled up on the floor with all of your broken hopes and dreams. Are y'all still here? Are you still locked up? Just turn the key. Toastmaster.